This podcast is for general informational, educational purposes only and is not to be considered medical advice for any particular patient. Clinicians must rely on their own informed clinical judgments when making recommendations for their patients.
Welcome everybody to another episode of PHM from Pittsburgh. I am your host, Dr. Tony Tarchichi. I'm a MedPeds trained pediatric hospitalist at UPMC Children's Hospital of Pittsburgh in the Paul C. Gaffney Division of Pediatric Hospital Medicine. This is the first time we're doing this. We are coming to you live from the Pediatric Hospital Medicine National Conference right in here in Seattle, Washington. We're having a great time. What we're going to be doing every day after the conference is done is do a quick episode on what I learned today at PHM. I'm going to grab a group of people together who were at the conference. All of us went to different events or different lectures. And we're going to say one, maybe two things we learned today at the Pediatric Hospital Medicine Conference. And we're going to do that for all of you at home who either A, couldn't come out because someone has to take care of the patients, or B, missed one lecture because you wanted to go to another one. So you're going to hear what people learned. We hope you all enjoy it. It's the first time we're doing it. All of my guests today are my partners at the UPMC Children's Hospital of Pittsburgh, Paul C. Gaffney Division of Pediatric Hospital Medicine. I'm going to have them introduce themselves right before they tell you about what they learned today. So without further ado, I will start. You all know who I am. I've been here all day today. I went to the Fellowship Directors pre-meeting, and I just recently went to the K Awards, how to get a research career funded, with Samir Shaw, Karen Wilson, and Ron Tufal. And I did not know how many other tracks besides NIH-type funding, K grants or R grants that were available. And that I found to be very illuminating, and how you can have a career and may not get an NIH grant, but still get funded and still really push your career forward. I found the conference itself to be super supportive. Samir and Karen and Ron were great, and they were very wonderful to be in a workshop with, so I liked it a lot. We're going to go around the room. Everyone's going to introduce themselves. This is my colleagues are from Pittsburgh, so we're all traveling together. We don't do anything alone. So we're going to say a little bit about who we are, and then you're going to hear about what we heard, what we did today. To my left is my esteemed colleague, Dr. Sara McIntire. Sara, tell us a little bit.
Thanks for the nice introduction, Tony. My name is Sara McIntire, and I am a hospitalist at the Paul C. Gaffney Division of Pediatric Hospital Medicine in Pittsburgh. I have been in this position since 1990, and I also serve in the longitudinal mentoring program of medical students at the University of Pittsburgh School of Medicine. What I learned today is that there are far more pediatric hospitalists than I ever imagined possible. I don't think when I started this we could have filled a single room with pediatric hospitalists. It's a big crowd, it's a diverse crowd, it's a very enthusiastic and accomplished crowd, and I'm grateful to be a part of it. I went to a session conducted by hospital medicine faculty at Rady Children's Hospital in San Diego, and the session was on the use of CPAP in infants with bronchiolitis on the regular floor. And I'm impressed at their pathway that they have created to fill an order set such that there's very standardized and consistent care in infants of a certain age who are started on CPAP when they're on the floor. I hope that we can take back that enthusiasm and that interest, because I think what they're doing would translate well to our circumstances.
Hi, this is Sylvia Choi. I am another pediatric hospitalist at UPMC Children's Hospital of Pittsburgh with my partners Tony and Sara. I wanted to share with everyone that I have attended the Advancing Pediatric Educator Excellence Teaching Program, abbreviated APEX. I am in the 2019-2020 educator class. And this is a longitudinal program that's co-sponsored by the American Academy of Pediatrics section on hospital medicine, as well as the Academic Pediatric Association. And it is geared towards those of us who are educators and gives us the opportunity to learn educational theory and skills that we can use to become better teachers. So this was the opening session for us was this morning, and I met a great number of similarly like-minded educators, which is really exciting. And it's going to be a 2-year program. So I would encourage people, if you are interested in improving yourself as an educator, to apply for next year's class, which I understand is going to also be at PAS as opposed to the PHM meeting. I also went to a workshop this afternoon, apps for the busy hospitalist. What I can say is that there were many, many people who were interested in hearing the workshop, and I would advise everyone, if there's a workshop that looks interesting to you, that you should go early to get a seat, because it was standing room only. But people had a lot of interesting things to share of apps that they have found helpful. So I, like Sarah, think it's really cool that we are sharing ideas with our colleagues across the nation.
All right. Thanks, Tony, for having all of us. This is Ben Miller. I'm the director of our Division of Policy Gaffney Pediatric Hospital Medicine at Children's Hospital of Pittsburgh, and I'm excited to be here. By far the most exciting and impressive thing I saw or learned today is that Eric Biondi and Gita Singhal have a lot of guts because they opened the entire conference with a karaoke version of Don't Stop Believin', with lyrics that were adjusted to be about pediatric hospital medicine. So that was impressive. And then they had a nice session after that. I just attended a workshop on clinical conundrums that I found really interesting. I actually learned something from every presentation. There were 5-minute presentations with a poster projected on the board, and the speaker would have about 3 to 4 minutes to present and about 1 to 2 minutes to answer questions. And the two things I think that I found most interesting, they ended up having, one of the cases was a neonate who was found to have a stroke and had otherwise a pretty unremarkable workup, and they were trying to investigate why the stroke had happened. And this patient had a version of a myelomeningocele at birth, and so they did a spinal MRI and found a subdural hematoma, which then prompted them to do a little bit more investigation and found several fractures on a skeletal survey. So this patient had a normal retinal exam by ophthalmology, so really no other obvious signs of non-axonal trauma. And the spine MRI is what led to the diagnosis. And the presenter said that about 63%, up to 63% of spinal MRIs will be abnormal and maybe show subdural hematomas in cases of inflicted head trauma, abusive head trauma in infants. And then the other poster I thought was really interesting was a patient who had proptosis because of significant sinus disease from allergic fungal sinusitis, which is a thing that I didn't know about. And it's not infectious, it's just an allergic reaction to relatively otherwise innocuous fungi that we have in our atmosphere. That was my interesting afternoon.
And I'm Andy McCormick. I'm also another member of the Policy Gaffney Division of Hospital Medicine at UPMC Children's Hospital of Pittsburgh. The fun fact that I can say is I am in an office right next door to Tony Tarchichi, and I will say he makes really good coffee and he loves to sing. Those are not both very good, but he loves to sing. Fun fact from today, I also agree. It was a great opportunity to meet with so many other members of our community in pediatric hospital medicine. I went to the talk Looking Beyond the K that really looks at and thinks about how do we do research or discovery in our field as hospital medicine. And the thing that really struck me in the room was just when we think about research, there's many different pathways. People who do it as 75% of their career, people who do it from a non-traditional pathway as part of their normal clinical work. And I think the most important thing that I took away from that talk was the concept of thinking about the next step. What is the next step for you? Thinking about what is your plan 5 years down the line of what does discovery look like in your clinical or research path, and thinking about what do you need to do to get there. And so thinking about that as an individual or as your division, it was a great idea of stepping back, creating a vision for what you think is then your career should look like, and then thinking about that next step of what you can do to move things forward.
All right. Thank you very much to everybody who participated. This was great. We're going to do this again tomorrow with a different group. A special thanks to Dr. Molly Ketchum, whose idea this was, so thank you, Molly. Also, a special thanks to Dr. Katie Pollack for helping me out this weekend, and I appreciate it. Well, everybody, it's time for our acknowledgments. I want to thank again our special guest who took the time to join us today. I want to thank the University of Pittsburgh and UPMC Children's Hospital of Pittsburgh for allowing us to continue to do these podcasts. I especially want to thank the AAP section on hospital medicine for asking us to do these episodes during the Pediatric Hospital Medicine Conference. Thank you again, everyone. Have a great day. See you next time.